Now we are going to talk about the Vedic schools, Buddhist and Jain educational systems and its linkages in India. Before going into that, I want to remind you about some precious words of Swami Vivekananda. Like he said once that each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. So however you do, whatever you do, wherever you do, there is always a soul is a potentially a divine in an individual. So you do it by worship or you do it by work, whatever it is, and you be free of the sin. So that is what said by Swami Vivekananda. By these words, let us start the linkages and this concept of Vedic, Buddhist and Jain educations. So when talking about the Vedic schools, there were many kinds of things. Like first, the students were used to enter into these schools by Vid, which means to know, and that was the Veda, Dharma and Brahman. And here they used to enter the school by taking the ritual performed ceremony, that is Upanayan, performed for 3 days, considered as a second womb for the child, because the ceremony unfolds his mind and soul. And here the ceremony, the students have that emerges that he has the brahmachari, a new and a changed individual both externally and internally. And here no more childishness or nothing, he becomes responsible young man. So the ultimate aim of Vedic age education was moksha or self-realization, to prepare individual to attain liberation, actually to be one with Almighty and to be free from cycle of births and deaths. So apart from all these things, there are many other things to realize. So that was taught in that age, and the curriculum was like, it was taught both on the knowledge basis, like Parividya, Paravidya, which means only the relation between the God and self, whereas Aparavidya, which means all the scriptures of 4 Vedas and 6 Vedangas and rituals, astronomy, itihasas, Puranas, ethics and so on are called Aparavidya, and Paravidya is only the relation between God and self. And the teaching methods was like discussions and debates, that was called Vada, Shravana, which means recitation, Manana, which means remembering, Nididhyasa and intuition and revelation. And most individual methods were used here. Like the teacher or acharya or guru is a supreme who stress on spirituality, formation of character, development of personality of his students. He is more religious and spiritual guide. So he acts as all these things to the students and he performs all these activities. Then talking about here, he has developed all these things in the students, that they have to do it by heart, manasa, vacha, karmana, and all they have to attain is the 4 Vedas, that is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Adharvana Veda. Then talking about the Jainism, that was like the main ratnas or jewels that they have to pursue is right faith, that is called Samyak Darshana, the right knowledge, that is called Samyak Jnana, right action is Samyak Charita. And 5 oaths that they have to take towards the Jainism is Ahimsa, Satyama, Asteyam, which means non-stealing, Brahmacharya and Aparigraha, which means non-attachment. And the curriculum of teaching in Jainism is like all preachings of Tirthankaras and Triratnas and Jain religions. And methods of teaching was imitation, recitation and adopting all the 5 oaths, individualized methods and practical and empirical methods. Why are we learning all these things is because as being the would-be teachers, we have to attain all these things knowledge before we going into teach. And there are many people that we have to handle, and maybe those great people knowledge might bless us with a very good great wisdom, and we can also transform ourselves into that best teachers, and we get the same fruit like students in future. So teachers and students were like, teachers should be a model with living like with all the rows trains rigorously to liberate the soul from bondage. Gurus were considered as gods. That is called Acharya Devo Bhava or Guru Devo Bhava. Then learners should follow that discipline absolutely with the 5 O's, that is called Pancha Marathas, to attain good conduct and emulate all the ideal characters from the gurus. That is like their main aim should be like becoming like their gurus and liberate the bondage. And he should be self disciplined. When you discipline yourself only, you can discipline the others also. So that is what is taught here, and the main role model or the god or whatever it is for the Sishyas is their gurus. And the most significant contribution of Jainism towards the social field was social equality, and among the 4 Varanas that was like prevalent in Brahmanic social order was Jainism holds an important position in Indian philosophical systems. And then coming about the Buddhism, here they are called what? Here they are different methods included like imitation, recitation, practice, practical experience, and nirvana, that is called salvation through meditation. And you know what are the noble truths, and we have already discussed the eightfold path, etc. By take refuge in Buddha, I take in refuge in Dharma, I take refuge in Sangha. So these are the promises and vows that they give to themselves, and that is called the Vedic, Buddhist and Jain methods of education.